Marshall Plan was basically a US foreign aid plan given in post-World War II period by United States to the Western Europe. This was basically an economic plan, a foreign aid to the Western Europe, and it has both positive and negative effects. This plan helped Western Europe for resource re-emergence of its industrialization process, and protect Western Europe from communist effects. But this has some other effects as well. Anyhow, the Marshall Plan was basically a foreign aid plan given by United States to the Western Europe in a post-World War period. In post-World War period, in the immediate post-World War II period, Europe remained ravaged by war and thus susceptible to the exploitation by external and internal communist threats. It was under the external communist threats because it was believed that since they were under serious economic pressure, and there was the possibility that they could when they could go under Soviet umbrella, so they were under external communist threat. And inside as well, inside Europe, the small communist parties were emerging day by day, so there was some internal communist threat as well. So sensing all these, in June 5th 1947, uh, George Marshall, who was the Secretary of State at that time, in a speech to the graduating class at Harvard University, issued a call for a comprehensive program to rebuild Europe. Uh, and fanned by the fear of communist expansion and rapid deterioration of European economies in the winter of 1946-47, Congress passed Economic Cooperation Act. In the winter of 1946-47, Europe was facing serious economic pressures because of its deteriorating economy. Their economies were shuttering day by day. So, sensing all these, that's when they saw that the European economies were going down, and there was external and internal communist threat. The Congress decided to approve the funding for rehabilitation of Europe. They proposed a comprehensive plan with $12 billion, 12 billion US dollars, and this plan was given in post-World War period. This was given to the Western Europe for its rehabilitation. Now, this plan has mostly positive impacts. First, it generated a resurgence of European industrialization. The European industrialization was passing through a weak phase. They were going down day by day. When the Marshall Plan injects some finance to them, that industrialization, which was becoming dormant day by day, become some active industrialization once again. And this aid also positively affected the US economy as well, because it stimulated US economy. When the European economy was standing, the US exports to the Europe increased. This stimulated the US economy as well. However, we can see some slight concerns in for this. Swede's concerns were over potential economic aid to the Eastern Europe, European satellites states, and the unwillingness to open up this secret society to Westerners doomed the idea. Furthermore, it is unlikely that the US Congress would have been willing to fund the plan as generously as it did also weak. Furthermore, it was unlikely that the US Congress would give such a huge fund generously as they did if the Suez bloc was also included. So the Suez had also concerns and reservations that this fund might not go to the Suez bloc in Eastern Europe, and on the other side, if this fund was supposed to go to the Eastern Europe, then perhaps the U.S. Congress would also not grant such a huge fund. Anyhow, this Marshall Plan was a great humanitarian work. You can criticize this plan on different grounds, but you cannot disagree with the idea with the fact that this plan was a great humanitarian work. And this plan, perhaps because of this humanitarian work, George Marshall was given the Nobel Prize for Peace, and this is the only he is the only general to receive Nobel Prize for Peace. And the Marshall Plan institutionalized and legitimized U.S. foreign aid, the U.S. foreign aid, which is now an integral part of U.S. foreign policy. And this Marshall Plan institutionalized and legitimized the U.S. foreign aid. Thank you for joining. Take care. Goodbye.